So in the last session, we have do these things, how to request handling, incoming request, and request is passing, and find matching URL. Then if URL is root is found, then process the request. If not found, then 404 error is coming. Okay, so and after that we will discuss about the routing. What is the routing? We have two type of routing on here: convention based routing and activity based routing. Okay, now we'll talk about the convention based routing, how to work on here convention based routing. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the routing. So we create the new project on here. Create new project for the routing. Can you see my Visual Studio?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so MVC, and on here we have select this template next, and on application name is root routing MVC, routing MVC, and next. Okay, the path is where is going path. Hmm. For we can see here next, and we have not enable container out support. You can understand this thing, enable container support, but the use of this
Mm,
enable container
like
support. Sorry.
I don't know.
Okay, in the last session, yeah, I will discuss in the last session. This is a enable container support. This is for the Docker. If you enable the
Oh
if
yeah,
you,
top of Kubernetes.
correct. If you use the Docker, and then if you select the checkbox, then when create the project, then create one file for the Docker related. And if you want
Okay.
to deploy this application on the Docker, so in container, so you can use check the checkbox on here. Okay, so we
Okay.
don't use
Yeah.
on this enable container support. Then next, create the project. Okay, can you see my VS Code correct
Yeah.
or not? Okay,
Yeah, I can see.
okay. So on here we have created the home controller, and we want to create another
Uh
controller.
like I am seeing the Google Docs, ASP.NET Core Google Docs now.
Okay, yeah, these things I'm seeing. Uh,
Yeah, before I saw VS Code.
now you can see.
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay. So uh, we have created one is a on here. This is a convention based routing. Okay, so
Okay.
we have created the this is a default routing. Okay, when page load, then this controller will load on here. This is name is it default. Okay, I create one controller, another one controller. Controller name is customer, customer controller, customer controller, and on here we create the view, add view. On here click. Okay, these things you can understand now. Okay, any issue on here? We can write on here s2 something, you can write hello. Okay, I'm just create controller on here, customer controller. Okay, same as home controller. uh, on inside the view, inside the view customer, create the index page, create the action index page on here, same name. This is action method. Go to the go view, and that this view create on here, customer, inside the customer, inside the view, inside customer view, and create the this is a index.css on here. So we have two controller on here. One is a customer controller, second is a home controller. So we want to send the request from if customer controller is exist, then first send the use the routing customer controller. If customer controller is not available, then move request to the home controller index. So for that we need to add on here. For that we need one routing convention with routing on here. App dot map controller root. Okay, map controller root, and this is the name coming is on here, but on change the name on here. Name is customer, name is customer, and pattern on here, name customer, and you can write on here pattern like this same things pattern you can use, and copy and paste. Okay, so we have customer, and we have on here controller name customer, customer, sorry, customer action name index. Okay, this is a default. Okay, and this is a customer controller. Then when load the page, when load the application, then always routing from top to bottom, from top to bottom. Then first check the on here customer is customer controller exist or not. If exist, then this customer controller index method is load. If not exist, then go to the default controller. This is a home index, this is a default. Okay, so I run this page, just take the debugger on here, run. Okay, so this, if this controller is fine, on just I debug on here, if debugger on here, then okay, then you can see this debugger come on here. This controller action method find, then move to this controller, move to this controller action method, then debugger is come on here. Debugger, you know the debugger. Hello, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, you know the debugger.
Sorry.
You know the debugger when the breakpoint. You know the breakpoint.
Uh,
Breakpoint.
uh, no.
Okay. Okay. Through the breakpoint, you can when you run the code in the compiled code, then we can add the debugger on here. We can add the debugger on here. When the run the code
Okay.
execution time, we can add the debugger on here. Then a debugger come on here. Then if you execute the code, then one line by line, you can check the data, how to data flow is working from one row to another row, third row. Through this, you can check the data flow,
Okay.
how to work
Yeah.
from program to controller page and go to the index page, and this on here debugger is come. Okay, then debugger will go on here. This load page, this page load is load. Okay, this index page is coming on here. Then continue. Okay, now you can see this hello. Okay, just I create the controller name is customer. So customer controller action method is loaded because on here we have add the routing. This is a convention based routing I add on here. Okay, suppose I change the name on here. Change the name on here customer one. Okay, so I change the name customer one. So we have no any customer one controller. Okay, so we have no any customer one controller. So it will go in the default controller action. Okay, if it will check from top to bottom. If suppose that we have multiple on here routing 1 2 3 4 5, if in nothing match to the controller action, then by default controller action will load. We don't run the application. So again stop and run. Then that time customer one is not found. Then default controller will load. Okay, so it is also customer controller is loaded on here. For that reason, we need change on here also. That means customer one is not mandatory. You need to the customer one. This is controller match on here. So again run. Okay. That time you can see this is a default controller, home controller index page, home controller index page. This is a home controller. Inside the home controller, we have index page. This page will is loading on here. When in the conventional way routing, we have this controller is not find. This controller is not find. Then load the default routing. Have you understand these things?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the? Can you repeat what the understanding?
Yeah, understood the breakpoint. If we at the breakpoint, we can see the all the line by line code.
Oh, okay. Now next, what about the conventional routing? I have created this routing. Okay, we create the customer
Yeah.
page. On here, we have
Yes.
created the customer page. This is customer controller. If customer controller index method find, then this page will load it. Okay. If not find, then default controller action method loaded. Okay. So I change the name is customer one. We have no any controller. We have controller is customer. Okay. If I customer controller, then load this controller action. If not find, then default controller will load.
Okay.
This is a convention based routing. It work from top to bottom.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. You can understand any issue. Oh,
N-
this
No.
this meeting is in transcribed. I don't want so. Okay. If you have no issue in between, please let me know. Without understanding, you don't interest to understand. One by one,
Okay.
you need to understand.
Yeah.
Okay. These things you can understand, or these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So suppose that I ask the question. We have one question on here. Can you tell the answer? I just copy on here. Okay. Customer controller is, we have replaced this default routing. This is a default routing. This is a I create the custom controller. So execution from top to bottom. So this code will executed, or this code will be suppose that we have controller, customer controller we have already. You can see on here we have customer controller. Okay, we have home controller. That time which controller will load? We have both controller we have in the application, customer and home both, and index method also.
Yeah. It will
So
go to the
that
customer controller.
no,
Mm,
I tell you, routing, always routing from top to bottom. Execution is work on top to bottom. First line,
yeah.
this
Top
line
to
will
bottom.
execute. Yeah, first this line will execute,
Okay.
then this line will execute. So always default controller, always default routing add inside in the top, add in the top, in the bottom, sorry, in the bottom. Always add default routing in the bottom. Okay, so from execution from top to bottom, then check these things. If not exist, then go to the default controller. Have you
Okay.
guys
Got it.
understand
Yeah.
or not?
Understood. Understood.
Okay, so this is a, we will talk about the, this is a only conventional routing. Okay, so now next is we talk about the uh, attribute based routing. Okay, so
Okay.
suppose this is used in the program.cs file. Okay, this is used in the program.cs file. I also add this line of code in the notepad on here for the understanding forward things. This is a conventional based routing. One is a convention is routing. After this topic complete, then I will give the assignment. Okay, we need to complete the assignment. If not
Okay.
completed, then you are not understanding anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So one is a conventional routing. This thing syntax for this. After second is a, we have second is a attribute attribute based routing. So for this, go to the control code, and suppose that we have home controller. We have home controller, and in the home controller we have root. Root. Okay, this is syntax for the attribute based routing. Root on here we have, suppose we have empty. So when I add on here empty, suppose first is I write on here index. Okay, so this is a home controller. Okay, just comment this code because I we want to load the default routing. Okay, this is a comment the code, then run. Okay, it is not working on here because default home, inside the default and home, so we have index. So okay, it is not working. For that we need to also assign on here controller level. By the controller we have, just one second. For the controller we have root, controller name we have home. Home is my controller. This is a home controller. Okay, this is a home controller, and action level, this is a action. This is a controller. Above the controller we have write the code on here root home. This is a controller, home controller, and this is a index action. Index action. Okay, so again load, stop. This is not working again. 7279 port. uh, home. This is home index. So then can you tell what the issue on here? Mhm. Just comment this empty, then I will check. Okay, you cannot see my browser, correct? Uh,
No, we cannot see your browser.
yeah, yeah. So close. This is my browser. Okay, on here this page is not loading due to these things. Just I comment this code, then check for the issue. I comment this code, then again run. Then it work. Means when I add the routing, it will not work. So we need to some setting for it. We need to some setting in the program.cs file. Use routing. Okay, and app dot uh, convention. Uh, just 1 second. On here we need to enable routing attributes. Actually, this is a use routing for the convention based routing. Okay, so for the attribute based routing, we need to enable on here. We need to enable app dot use endpoint. Use endpoint. Okay, on here use endpoint. Uh, endpoints. Okay, and this is endpoints dot. We can write on here. You can see attribute map controllers. Sorry. This is saying what I saw. This is okay. It is saying you can write static. No need to static. Why not to static? Hmm. Okay, so and this is warning on here. Maybe something. Then again, go to the controller and uncomment the code. Okay, then run. And again, it not work. Okay, what is on here? This is saying on here, use controller, uh, dot use endpoints. Just we check on here. Use file. The pipe in limited routing in maybe observation that top level stuff use infant. What is so it's these things? App controller on here. Restart. And it's not working on here. Just give me 1 second. Yes, this is old things on here. Just remove. Okay, now again run. Then now working. Sorry for please give 2 minutes. Maybe some issue on here. This is not loading. My this is coming on here. Only we need these things only. App dot web controller. Okay, dot map controller dot all these things, gender. And color you want to compare. 7029. 7029. 7029 is HTTPS. Okay. If I remove these things on here, root add on here index. Actually, routing is not attribute-based routing is not working on here. Maybe some issue. Like, okay, I will check and then let you know. Okay. So I've heard the issue on here. Attribute routing and you heard the issue on here. I
What
will
do
go.
you think the problem was?
Actually, problem is when I go from on here. Okay. I use. Okay. So I use attributes routing on here. We add the routing on here. On here. Okay. Then this will not come on here. Root home controller and index. When assign this index, then this controller is not hitting,
Okay.
and this index is not hitting. This is issue on here. So this is a attributes based routing.
Yeah.
So sub issue in the attributes based routing. What the issue on here? Uh, okay, maybe I just again try change the name on here. So different way. Controller. And inside the action, we have right on here index. I should try these things. Okay, not working on here. Mm, Okay, I will check the things. Why not working? This activate based routing is not working on here. Okay, so now move to the next point. I will discuss in the next session how what is on here. So next point we will discuss uh, actually on this element of one routing. Next
Like
point.
in the route attribute on the controller, uh,
Yes,
action method correctly matches the URL.
yes, correctly. Actually, this is a you can see on here. Okay, this is a home. Okay, this is home,
Yeah,
and okay, this is a home controller. Home controller. Okay, and
yeah.
index. This is a index method. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this match on here. Suppose on here you can write any ABC. Just again run. Then maybe some issue home inside the home index. Copy and go on here, and then home backslash index. Okay, it is working. Okay, actually that time maybe okay that region on here. Actually this time on here we have called the conventional based routing on here. On here we are calling conventional based routing by default is called. Okay, so
Okay.
then by default called conventional based routing. Then we can move on another page like on here we are using home. Then go to the on here go to the customer page, and here on here write the customer. Okay, on here uh, write the root index. For index you can write according your name and convention. You can do anything on here, index or customer details. First I check the index. Okay, so I check on here, means actually I mistake in confusion on here. So uh, I remove this routing from the home because by default page is load for the conventional based routing. By default page will load with the conventional based routing. Then run. Okay, okay. So run. This is a home page, and inside the home page we have customer page, customer backslash index. Okay, so this is call on here, come on here. Okay, you can see this is come on here and come on through the on here. Suppose I change the name on here. I change the name on here. Customer index. Okay, customer index. Copy and stop. Again run. Then uh, where you pin on here. Okay, so this is on. After that on here customer, and I change the name on here index change to customer index. Then you can check on here. Okay, through this name it will hit the action name. This is a I change the name on here. in the root level. Okay, on here I change the name, customer name. Through this, then when enter the URL, then no use of this name, index name. Use customer index. That time we use customer index. Okay, so you can see on here customer index.
Okay.
Okay, so suppose on here, just stop, and suppose we have, if not any uh, define anything on here, we have empty, then by default index method will call. Okay, suppose if root and empty and backspace, then also call index method. By default this method will call. Okay, if suppose I write on here, just run this code, then I show what I saying on here. Go to the just remove the digger and okay, you can see this is a customer page. This is a customer page, but on here you can see the URL. What the URL? There is no URL because I am pass on here. I am pass on here uh, empty. If okay, if you pass on here empty, then it will load. Just I hit the digger and then reload. And okay, you can see because I have check on here. If you have empty, then you can load. If empty, then you can load. Otherwise, if you have backslash, okay, backslash, then also you can load. Backslash, then also you can load. Okay, empty backslash, you can load. And same thing. Suppose that we have create another method. I create the another method. Just copy and paste on here. Detail method. Details. Okay. So here the index method name is details. Okay, same name is view name. Details. Let's see the name details. DTAILS. Details. Okay, then you can see on here H2 details page. So, and also you can see I add on here. We can add on here root. Okay, root. You can write here on here details. Details. Okay, for this you can check. Copy and run. Okay, so now customer. This is index method customer. After that we have details. Okay, now you can see detail method call. If you want to change name anything, you can change according you enter the on the URL, that name is come on the URL. So this is a uh, controller, this is a action, and okay, so and if you want to call the direct, like on here we have customer. Inside the customer according same things also you can use. This is like customer, okay, and customer and backslash action, action, okay, and on here I comment this code. This is a HTTP gate, HTTP uh, gate, okay. So action name is index, and like this is maybe confusion, okay. So I can understand this thing because this is a use for the in the API. HTTP gates all things, okay, we can use in the API, okay. So this is a attribute routing, and after we will talk about the root constant. After we will talk about the root constant. Suppose that you can see on here in the program.cs file. You can understand these things, attributes based routing or not?
Yeah, I can understand, but
Okay.
as a like a quick review, can you
Yeah,
tell
sure,
everything,
sure.
the convention based routing and the attribute based routing, like a quick
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
sure,
you can
sure.
tell me as quickly.
Yeah. So convention based routing we can write in the program.cs file,
Okay.
and attributes based routing we can add in the controller base, in the controller, in the
Okay.
controller and action. We can add controller and action attributes based routing, and convention based routing add on here. Convention based routing will run from top to bottom,
Yes.
okay. But in the attribute based routing, this is no thing, no any things on here. This is match the URL. These things it will match this customer, this name and this name will match
Okay.
in the attribute
So what
routing.
about if we add multiple routes?
Actually, I can't
Uh,
suppose that we have this is a if you have and not any empty, then also you
yeah.
can load these things. If you backslash, then also you can these things load. Okay, according we can add these things. We
Okay.
have multiple URLs. Suppose you have you can write customer index or customer details. If you we have three URLs, through this URL, if you want to load the only one index, then you can assign on your multiple routes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so we will talk about the root constant.
Yeah.
So in the root constant, go in the program.cs file. Can you these things you can understand? We have when you enter these things, this question mark is a optional. Mark
Yeah.
means
Yes.
optional. So
Yeah.
uh, uh, suppose on here I write on here something mm, like I remove this question mark here. Then what happened? Uh, okay, no problem. See again, run the application. Okay, this is a load in home, but we want to load on here. Can you see on here? Page is not loading. Okay, okay, you cannot see that screen actually. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I share my complete screen. Just 1 second. Maybe this is more confusion on it. Now you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see on here home index. It page not loaded. But
Yes.
I start this page and add on here question mark. Add question mark. Then it will load. Then again run. Okay. You can see this is loaded.
Yeah.
So what happened on here? When I remove this question mark, then this field is mandatory. This field
Mm-hmm.
is mandatory. You need to pass this field on on here on here index backslash 1. Okay, then it loaded. If I not, if you are not passing on here 1, anything you can pass 1 minus 1, then it will load. Okay, so if I add on here, it will not load. Okay, that time I write on here this is a mandatory field.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so so on here, suppose this is on here, we can enter the negative, but when you save the database, we have no any negative value. Okay, only save the in the data, we have only save the positive value. Always save the positive value. Okay, so on here we have right, we have only one is a suppose this is id. Okay, you can id, we can also you can pass on here string, because this nothing any on here, this is running. Okay, then no need to mandatory this is. Okay, this is loading, but I pass on here id. Also it support -1 +1 string, all things is it is using. Okay, for that we use the on here uh, root constraint. Root constraint means validation. Only you can allow integer, you can allow string, or you can allow 1 to 100. You can enter in the url like this thing. We can on here we can add int. So
Mm-hmm.
now you can see on here. Okay, so go to the home page, not loaded, then one page loaded. If enter on here -1. Okay, -1 also is integer, correct? And
Yeah.
-1, another value we have, suppose we have enter the on here string, then page error is coming, because I add on there, I have add on there, this is a integer. Okay, so i add I add the validation on here. This is a, it is called root constraint. If allow on here string, on here string, also you can add string, strng. We have this is all things on here root constant. Inside the root constant, these things we have. On here not string. Okay, we have no string on here, only id is a integer. So this is a root constant on here. After that we will talk about the uh, uh, mm, on the control attribute based routing, how to use on here constant, on here how to apply constant. So suppose on here this is a view. Okay, so on here we want to route uh, it like url. uh, URL. URL type is string. Okay, we have URL. We have passed the parameter on here, and this URL is a string type. This URL we have string type. So just I run this. I remove this code. I check these things. URL. Okay, customer index. Stop. Then run. It is saying on here we have customer and we have customer and uh, customer mm, customer index, customer, and inside the customer index. Okay, now also again error. Then we add the string. This is a like something. Okay, then you can check on here also. This is error, means constraint reference string could not be resolved. Mm, invalid, means it's not supported. Mm, okay, then maybe means just one second. Suppose I add on here backslash id colon int. Okay, so we have id which is value is int. Then customer we have customer. Okay, customer index is not working, but we have passed the parameter 1 2 3. Customer index. We have customer and okay, we need to add the bracket on here. Curly bracket, and this is okay. Now check. Now go to the customer index, not working. Then again pass the parameter 1. Okay, now it working. Okay, so on here we can allow on here is a integer. Okay, if you pass the string on here, if you pass the string on here, okay, this is not working. If you pass the integer, then it will work. This is a root constraint on here. We add the validation. You can enter on here only uh, integer value. Okay, and also you can add on here range. Range like range like if you want to add in the URL 1 to 100. Okay, then you can pass on here 1 to 100. 1 to 100. ID range. Okay, now check. again customer index, customer index, and I enter on here. We have validate the validation 1 to 100. Then we have enter on here 100. Then it will work. When I enter the on here 101, then it will not work because I add the validation on here range. If ID we have 1 to 100, then you can load. Otherwise, if you enter the on here 101 exit to the 100, then it will not work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also you can add the some according you can add the multiple validation uh, like uh, you can also add the reject syntax or email validation. Or suppose that if you can add the negative value, it cannot allow. So suppose 1 to 100 and then again on here enter the -1, -1, then it will not work. Then on here add the validation, only positive value is allowed on here. Or you can add on here range uh, range, what the syntax on here is a max min value on you can add on here 1. When you run the code, then at least 1 is minimum value is 1. Then suppose run, then minimum value is 1. Minimum value is 1. Then working. Okay. If you add on here 0, it not work. Okay. If I add on here -1, then it will not work. So I add on here validation. Minimum value is 1. Same things we have. These things all you can enter colon enter all validation on here. You can use. Okay. If you do the assignment, then you can use all things on here: decimal, double, float, int length. Okay.
Yeah.
Min length. Suppose that this is min length. On here you can pass uh, min length at least uh, 2. Okay. So when I run this code, customer, then on here 1 2. Okay. If I add 1, then not work. If I add 1 2 means we have 2 length, then it will work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then we can
Got
add
it.
3 and we can work. Okay. So this is multiple validation. This is a validation is called constant, root constant. This is a root
Okay.
constant. All these drop downs you can according you can add on action level. On the
Okay.
action level, you can add these things. Okay, these things maybe you can
Yeah.
understand.
Yes.
So after that we will talk about the then you can understand routing, correct? Routing, convention
Yeah.
based routing and activity based routing.
Yes.
And after that
Convention based routing.
also you can understand root constant.
Yeah.
Okay. If any issue,
Mm-hmm.
please let me know. If you do the assignment, then you can try. Then if any issue, then please let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So now we'll talk about the area.
Yeah.
Suppose that when you create the project in company, so we have like go to the on here, go to the browser, Excel. Okay. Okay. We have project And inside the project, we have multiple modules. Okay. One is a admin module. Second is user module. Third is public module. Okay. Fourth is you can accounting module. Accounting. Okay. We have four modules in the application. So every module we have on functionality. Admin module we have on functionality. User module we have on functionality. Public module we have on functionality. Admin module, this is backend. User module, when you log in, then open the user module. Public module, when you go to the any site, then show all pages. This is a public module. Accounting related to the any calculation, all things. This is go to the accounting module. So how to manage these multiple modules in the MVC .NET Core? So far that we have come on in the picture area. This is a four module. So then we have created the four area on here. One area is a admin, one area for the user, one area for the public, one area for the accounting. And inside the area we have controller and action. Like we have only, you can understand non-technically. Suppose only sorry, we have support the right click on the create the folder. Okay, just only simple we create the folder admin, user, public, accounting. I create the four folder. Inside folder we have inside the multiple folder we can create separate. So these things we have creating through the areas. This feature is come in the MVC.NET Core. So on here, go to the right click on here, add, go to escape folding. You can see on here escape folding. This is a running application. I close this page, all pages. Now you can see add. Okay, new scaffold item. You can click this page button, new scaffold. Now you can see on here MVC area. Okay, so we have created the MVC area on here, and area we have created the one area creator name is admin. Admin. Okay. So on here it is showing on here. This is a saying these things on here like this syntax company generated this file. Other required dependency on here. Create the area and check the area. This like on the further understanding only create this file, not anything else. So on here go to the area folder. Area folder we have created the admin. Okay, this admin module. This admin module is called area. This is a area. Okay, on here we have created the one is a controller folder, one is a data folder, one is a model folder, one is a P. Okay, so there is inside the admin folder we have four folders. One is a for controller. Inside the controller we create the controller pages. Controller, okay, and controller
Yeah.
page index method go in the inside go into the view. When you create the controller, and then controller view go in the view folder. And suppose when you create the for the bind the data from controller to view, So we create the classes. So that classes
Mm.
we can add in the model folder.
Yes.
Okay, and that suppose that this is a data folder. Okay, suppose that you have simple folder or simple application. Then you can add this is data used for the connection for the database. But
Mm.
we don't use this folder for the database because we use the three layer architecture, yeah, or four layer architecture. Suppose one is a presentation layer, one is a business layer, one is a data access layer, one is for the entities TTO. Okay,
Yeah.
that time we
Mhm.
we need to follow the pattern theta architecture. So
Okay.
that time we don't use this folder. Also, don't use this folder. You can use this folder, but don't use this folder.
Okay.
Okay. So I create the one page on here controller, home controller. Now you can see home controller, and it will it has not create the view. Okay. So right click on here, right click, add view, add. Okay, index the HTML. Then go to the index page. On here you can see the index.cshtml.
Mhm.
Okay, and on here you can see the shared folder is not showing on here. Shared folder, same shared folder, it is on there also, shared folder. So if you want to copy this folder, you can copy this folder on there, copy, and inside the view you can add, paste. Okay, so on here we have no need this file, and also this actually for the jQuery we need to this file, copy. Actually this for the scripting, JS for the related to JS file,
Okay.
all things, and this for the error purpose. Also you can use this file, but you can for that. So we have created the share folder, home index. Okay, so on here we have home controller on here. So inside the home controller we have create the area on here. Change syntax on here because this is a area is where the area on here. Area is admin. Okay, so area is admin. Then according we need to change code in the program.cs file. In the program.cs file, according we need to change the code, and in the conventional routing. In the conventional routing, we need to change the code like on here. Okay, then you can just copy and paste. We have some changes on in the because on here it will check the area also. Then on here area and pattern on here we will check on here uh, curly braces area. Okay, area colon exist exist, and then backslash controller home index, and if you want to add this is a nullable, you can add nullable, not need to pass. Okay, so this pattern means area exist when run the url, then when run the url. Okay, run the url, then on the url we have admin backslash controller backslash index, then it will check this area exists or not, means admin on there also on their admin, then area exists, then this this routing will call that time. Just I run this code. No, this is error. What the error? Okay, so This is now actually this is pass some path, so we need to this model on here also, because we need to model actually. Okay, this is model, it's not accessible on here, so I remove these things on here. Then again run. Okay, so we have created the area admin, and we have controller is home, then index is index. Okay, then enter. Okay, then load it, because in the inside the view we have empty controller, so we have write on here s2 admin home index, close. Now you can see on here admin home index. Okay, now you can see it will call admin home index. Suppose that I remove this admin on here. I remove admin. Okay, I remove the area. So on here, go to the program.cs file. I remove the area. So this area not exist in the URL. Correct? Then I remove the area from in the URL admin. Then that admin name is not exist. So area exist or not? Not exist. Then this line will not execute. Then go to the next. Then this line will execute because area not exist on there in the URL. So again run. Then again run. On here we have some validation because some check on there 1 minus 1. Okay, this you can see on here, int we need to pass int. Okay, so we need to pass on 1 2 3 4. Okay, so these things on here, if area not exist, then go to the default controller. If area exist, according it will load that controller. Suppose on here admin, okay, home, then admin home controller will load. Okay, understand these things? Can we repeat again?
Hello?
Yeah, can you understand these things?
Yeah, I can
Mm,
understand. Can you repeat again?
yeah.
Yeah,
So for the area, we have created
yeah,
the area folder. These things you can understand how to create the area on here. From the
yes,
right click on here, right click, and just establish code on here. Right click, index, add new scope hold item. Okay, from here
yeah,
this come on MBC area. Okay, MBS area. Through this we can create. Then it come admin. We have created the admin area. Inside this we have created the controller, home controller, and inside the home controller here the index method, and through this create the view on here. Okay, same actually this is layout page. If you change the layout according to the requirement and change the layout page, and after that on the on program.cs file we have created the uh, routing, convention based routing on here. If area exists, this syntax is for the if area exists in the URL. In the URL, if area exists, this is admin, okay, admin home index, okay. If area exist, okay, if area exists, then it will execute this line. If area admin is not exist, then execute this line. So on here we have not running this code. Again run this code. Then on here you can see admin home index. Okay, this will load because area exists. If I remove this code line and pass this one because on their mandatory field on here area is not zero. Then go to the bottom and default routing will call. Okay, you can see this is a
Yeah.
default routing is called on here. Understand this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now we'll next point we'll talk about the helpers.
Okay.
So we have helper. Suppose on here we have helper. Uh, helpers. We have two type of helper. One is a tag helper. Tag helpers. This is SPNet core. SPNet core come and second is HTML helper. HTML helper. It will come in SP.NET MVC, SPNet MVC, and also in SPNet core. So this two things on here and one on here. Then HTML helper we have this is a HTML helper. Okay. Then we have HTML helper also divided in two sections. One section is and second. One section is built-in function, built-in HTML helper, built-in HTML helpers, and second is custom helper. Custom helpers. Okay. So again, built-in helper we have three types. Built-in helper we have three types. One for standard HTML helper. Second is strongly type, and third is template HTML helper. Templated HTML helper, and this come in the built-in HTML helper. And on here, custom helper you can create according your requirement. According your requirement, you can create the custom helper. Okay, so they can see on here. Also, you can write on here. This is for like at the rate HTML dot text box. HTML dot text box. Okay, and name. Okay, like the syntax, this is a standard helper. Okay, like the syntax, this is a HTML helper, and okay, this is go on here. This is go on here template. Okay, can write on here this blank. Okay, this is okay. This is a strongly type on here. We need to add the same syntax here. We can add with for with for and also use some data modeling. We change on syntax also on here. Uh, m lambda m dot name m dot name. Okay, and on here template also same things, but on here change the text was to editor for editor for. Okay, so this syntax, this is a template HTML helper, editor for. This is a strongly type text box for. Okay, this is name. This name and name come from the model. Okay, when you go in the view, when create the view, then this name create tightly coupled. Okay, and this is a standard HTML helper. And if you want to create some custom helper, according further we need to create the class through the class, and inside the through the class, and further we create the static class. In the static class we create the static method for custom helper. Also we create the custom helper. So next, and this is a third child is a tag helper. Tag helper, we have multiple tag helper. This is a we need to also discuss these things on here. It start from the SP. This start from the on here. This start from with SP. Okay. SP strict means like it's always start from uh, hyphen strict. Okay. Like we have multiple tag helper, form tag helper, and input tag helper, label tag helper, image tag helper, select tag helpers, text area. Okay, multiple controls we have. So for that use the tag helper. Like on here, go to the page and application. You can see on here also maybe I show in the this is a input SP. Okay, the SP hyphen action, SP hyphen area, SP hyphen controller, SP hyphen fragment page root. Okay, this is all is tag helper. This is all tag helper. Okay, so then hyphen. Okay, string means all these things I'm writing on there. Okay, this is tag helper. SP. Okay, SP. Okay. This is all is tag helper. Okay, so we have two type of tag helper. Tag B, so we have tag helper. We have two type of helper. One is a tag helper. Second is a tag helper is come in .NET Core. In MVC, before .NET Core we have MVC. In the MVC we have no tag helper. Okay, but HTML helper is is in HTML helper is available in ASP.NET MVC. But ASP.NET Core also HTML helper. These things also in the discussion here. Uh, this is a HTML helper. Inside the HTML helper, we have built-in HTML helper, custom helper. This concept in MVC, .NET MVC, and this concept come in .NET Core. This concept, right side concept in .NET Core will come, has come, and in the right side concept was in MVC, .NET MVC. HTML built-in, HTML custom helper, strong different thing. You can understand this is a concept is tough. Okay, on a
Yeah.
built-in custom strong type test area. How many not understand? Okay, when you mind the concept and this concept, then you can understand. But on here you can see .NET Core. This is simple. Tag helper, SPNet strict, and you can see on here. Uh, okay, this is a tag helper. Only these things in .NET.
Okay.
So I these things we can implement in the application, then you can understand better.
Okay. Got it.
So mm, so now today it is okay for today. Then we can continue
Yeah.
tomorrow. Continue. Okay.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
any
It is
confusion,
good.
please let me know in between, or please
Okay.
revision today's session and ask the question in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Can you share me this? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We will share.